Saint Julian the Hospitaller. Saint Julian the Hospitaller, also known as Julian the Hospitaller or Julian the Poor, is a legendary figure whose life and deeds are primarily celebrated in medieval literature, particularly in the French and English traditions. The story of Saint Julian the Hospitaller is associated with themes of redemption, forgiveness, and divine intervention. It's important to note that the legend of Saint Julian is a hagiographical tale, meaning that it is a narrative designed to exalt and venerate the saint rather than provide a historically accurate account. The legend begins with the birth of Julian into a noble family. His parents, devout Christians, received a prophecy predicting that their son would commit a grave sin, leading to his eventual redemption through a series of extraordinary events. This prophecy sets the stage for the unfolding of Julian's life, marked by both tragedy and divine intervention. As Julian grew older, he was married to a noble woman. Despite his comfortable and privileged life, a tragic mistake occurs. While on a hunting expedition, Julian mistakenly kills his own parents, who had disguised themselves as animals in a test of his hunting skills. Overwhelmed with grief and horror upon realizing what he had done, Julian is devastated by the weight of his sin. Stricken with guilt and seeking penance for his grave act, Julian decides to embark on a pilgrimage. He leaves his home, abandoning his wealth and status, and sets out on a journey of repentance. This phase of his life is characterized by humility, self-imposed poverty, and a fervent desire to seek forgiveness from God for his unforgivable sin. During his travels, Julian encounters a leper on the roadside. Despite his initial repulsion, Julian is moved by a spiritual revelation that prompts him to care for the leper with compassion and kindness. Unbeknownst to Julian, the leper is a manifestation of Christ, and his act of charity plays a pivotal role in the unfolding narrative of redemption. Inspired by his encounter with the leper, Julian dedicates his life to the service of the poor and sick. He uses his remaining wealth to establish a hospital, providing care and shelter to those in need. This selfless act of charity becomes a central element in the legend, symbolizing Julian's transformation from a sinner to a saintly figure. One day, as Julian is praying in his chapel, a miraculous event occurs. A wounded doe enters the chapel seeking refuge. Julian, recognizing the divine significance of the moment, tends to the doe with great care. Miraculously, the doe is healed, and it is revealed that the animal is a representation of Julian's parents, signifying their forgiveness and God's mercy. Following the miracle of the doe, Julian receives a divine message assuring him of God's forgiveness for his past sins. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Julian continues his life of devotion and service to the poor. Eventually, he is granted a vision of heavenly glory and is canonized as a saint, cementing his place in Christian hagiography. The legend of Saint Julian the Hospitaller has left an indelible mark on medieval literature and art. Numerous poems, ballads, and artworks depict his story, emphasizing themes of repentance, compassion, and divine mercy. The tale has inspired generations of believers to reflect on the transformative power of redemption and the boundless mercy of God. While the life of Saint Julian the Hospitaller is undoubtedly a product of medieval imagination and literary embellishment, the enduring appeal of his legend lies in its universal themes of human fallibility, redemption, and divine forgiveness. The story serves as a reminder of the capacity for spiritual transformation and the hope that even the gravest sins can be forgiven through sincere repentance and acts of selfless love and service to others.